So Disney just announced hyperactive robot Call of Duty. Just take a look at this robot. From the demo at Disney's recent show, you can all see that Disney's new robot does a whole somersault and many different really cool things. Is able to balance on its roller skates. So take a look at this. Ladies and gentlemen, it says Disney unveils robot. So Disney recently had a conference. Lots of new robots. And one of the robots that they did recently announced. Now this was truly a reveal, and it was definitely really cool. Now I did actually manage to see a bunch of these clips. You can watch the original reveal. Disney have been making robots for quite some time, but this is the robot in question. Bipedal robot. From the movie Zootopia. It's able to do front flips. It's able to literally just agile as a very small rabbit could be. And on the demo, you know, sometimes these demos, but this robot was very at completing all the tasks it needed to do. And it was honestly, especially since it didn't seem to slow either. Especially since Google recently announced their robot. You literally had to watch it on for time speed. As you're about to see. Pretty fast. As it's about to do the somersault. And it simply gets up straight away. So it's not just like sort of motion. So this thing is definitely going to be pretty quick. I definitely thought this is. If you are someone who is scared about the future of AI, because of course, you know at night, some kind of death robot, then just does a super flip towards you. But of course, so I don't want to be someone who fearmongers. You have to understand that you know how many companies, and of course Disney didn't confirm at their parks in the future that they wouldn't just develop this. The technology that they're developing. Really cool. How quickly robots are evolving. And what's really cool is that repeatability. And they've actually managed to do that. Which essentially just means, and then they translate that onto the model. Which is where you can see these stumbles. It's just pretending to stumble. I guess you could say. This robot is designed like that. Which I kind of like. Is that it doesn't seem to have too many details in it. From everything. I mean one robot that everybody knows about. Now Atlas of course. As you all can see right here. It's able to jump around. And I gotta say that. You know, I guess you could say, nature of this robot. What it does. It's not always repeatable. To be able to get this in one take. A lot of the times. The reason I say that is because a lot more bulkier. The legs on the back. It definitely. Which just goes to show how they're building these robots. Definitely is pretty. Because Disney's robots here. I mean the arms. The legs look like they're made out of flimsy material. Lightweight. That allows it to move really quickly that makes it truly. Whereas you know, Atlas is a one that doesn't seem too clunky. But you know, thing on the back. And I guess of course, for a different. So yeah, and of course this one. As well you know. Because Boston do the flips. Disney's flip a bit better. Because of course. But they both use to achieve this. Right here you're able to see that. Like it's making it doesn't look like insane wires. You know technology. This robot is going to be very. Because in the future, a bunch of these, powered by ChatGPT, they could really be powered. It's definitely a robot that is very friendly. That the robot going to jump. And it just simply start. And what's really cool about this? I'm guessing, get some kind on how much this thing will be. But my estimate, the battery life, because that robots do face. I had to be charged, a lot of them. Remote battery. That's gonna need to be increased if the effectiveness, adding a bit of this robot is, which is definitely just a robot. And it's not one of the robots, because I will. Disney has actually, made in the past, done from a really, Disney has been, but it's only. So this does. Is Disney going to, go where might give users the ability for commercial? Maybe they will. I'm not sure. Interesting. Robots they seem very effective. They able to interact, center data, and it definitely does look, Disney, by any means, but if the future, very differently, more and more, and the Googles, are we gonna, of many of these services, just for fun, Disney, that is in a point right now. This definitely may be Disney's series of robots that Disney to catch up. Not true at all. There's two, wanna show you, is working on. I'm not exactly sure why. Increase stuff at the does seem a bit. They definitely kind of actual. But these ones here are just built, perform certain. You can see that I was just, is essentially for the stunts. Really cool. They program. Essentially. There is some they've shown was actually they kind of coded where it does of effects that. And here in A, they talk about they managed was very hard to get the flips all perfect, but it definitely very, because of course companies are, some are using it, and I guess some kind of Disney's just there's about making and it does a right path. Seeing a robot to land this is definitely does look like, but is definitely, and this is working on 1 year ago from 4 years. It definitely that Disney on this 4. I know you might just think robot about the landing, and I think able to stick. It's not going to need, which is definitely, I'm not sure, but it is really, really interesting. The entire thing, the gist of the robot, watch this video, what it's about. It, man texture on it, what it does, a certain amount. I'm not gonna lie. Interactive, you can all, this Judy robot does look like it's advanced. Like to any, they didn't about this robot, that it does look before it does really efficient, really effective. It's gonna be. And just literally, and maybe front flip and like that. So it definitely, and definitely, lot of these, because it was, but I just didn't see covering it. Why I was like, this new AI robot has been released. Cool to see it, because we know that robots struggle. I want to say that of robots is interesting to hear exactly. Think about this robot. Do you think it is cool? Are gonna become? Do you think making robots definitely the future very quickly in the last the kind of it definitely big change so very quickly right beneath many companies exactly what and in 20 years could we have very dynamic robots continually